Hey everybody, David here, and I want to talk about the movie Glass. I got to see it recently, and here we go. My review for it. M. Night Shyamalan returns to do this final movie in his trilogy, starting with Unbreakable, then with Split, and now Glass. And I'm going to say this, I don't think the movie has that much to do with Mr. Glass, played by Samuel Jackson. The movie seems to be equally about Bruce Willis's character, David Dunn, from Unbreakable, Samuel Jackson, of course, also from Unbreakable, and James McAvoy from Split. It seems to center on the three of them pretty equally, so why it's about Glass, I think towards the end you get a clear idea why the movie is called Glass. But for the most part, I feel like this was a three-man lead, where the three of them get equal attention for the most part. Like, there are moments of the movie. If I were to say who got the most to do, maybe it was James McAvoy. But then again, every time he's on screen, he steals the show. James McAvoy, if you saw Split, he is an incredible actor. I mean, the way he is able to transform from personality to personality is just mind-blowing at times, especially when in this movie you really get to see like moments where like he's struggling within, and it's like crazy how it's like something's going on in his mind, and to see him shift from one character to another in just one shot, it's crazy. Samuel Jackson and Bruce Willis are really great in the film too. It surprised me with Bruce Willis because a lot of people, I think, know by this point Bruce Willis's films haven't been up to par lately. I think the last good movie, I don't want to say, and a lot of people will say his acting has been in recent films has been phoning it in a lot more lately. Where this movie, I felt he was in the game. I felt like, okay, this is something I really want to do. And returning to a character from one of his classic films. It's funny because he's done that a couple of times with Die Hard, but A Good Day to Die Hard wasn't his finest. But this movie, it was great. I really do love Unbreakable, and I do love Split as well. I am going to say that this movie wasn't as good as those two, though. I really do feel the movie had a really nice, strong start. In the middle I think is the weak part of this movie, where it starts to slow down a little bit. And then towards the end of the movie, it has an okay ending. And that's where I think the disappointment will come for a lot of people, is how it starts off so strong, but it doesn't end well. And that could be a make or break for a lot of people, because if you don't have a great ending, some people could leave the theater disappointed. And I do like the ideas this movie brings to the table, It tries to manipulate these characters in some way and makes us think, well, is it true what she's saying? But there is a part of yourself that knows that what they're trying to convince you as an audience member, for a fact, or at least because of what you've seen in previous films, that what they're trying to convince you on is untrue. This is hard without not spoiling anything, by the way, so I'm limited on how I can do this, unless it was a spoiler review, which I don't want to do a spoiler review. I think you should go into this movie. If you are a fan of Unbreakable or Split, I think you should go into this movie without knowing anything, because that's the right way. Just like every M. Night Shyamalan film, there is a twist. I actually thought there were maybe two twists. One twist was pretty good. I liked one twist that came along towards the end of the film, and then there's one at the very end, which I thought, okay, that's cool. It made me happy and a little bit more satisfied, because if that twist at the end didn't come, I probably would have been angry at the movie, because there was a moment during the end where I thought, okay, if this is the way they're ending it, I'm not gonna like it. I can already feel the rage inside me burning up, thinking, this is how they're going to end it, really? But then there's something that comes afterwards. You'll know what I'm talking about once you see it, where I said to myself, okay, maybe I can forgive it a little bit now. But it's still not the kind of ending that I was hoping for. And I was hoping for a lot more different on how they were building it up towards. I was hoping for it to go in a certain direction, and it didn't. But look, if you're going to go into this movie because of the characters, I think McAvoy, Samuel Jackson, and Bruce Willis are a joy to watch in the characters that, we're going to see them from their previous films. I think that's what will save this movie. But this is not the sequel I think a lot of people are hoping for to wrap up this trilogy. I think this is a movie that some people say it feels very superhero-like. I'll agree to that to an extent. I think the beginning definitely felt more like that. And maybe that's why for a lot of people the beginning was some of the best stuff. And then later on, they try to put these differences in that didn't just gel well with the rest of it that was going on. For the most part, look, I liked the film. I thought it was a 7 out of 10. I didn't hate this movie. I just felt a little underwhelmed. And I could have given it a 6, but I thought it was a little bit better than a 6. So I'm giving it a 7 out of 10. This is not going to be a movie that everyone's going to love. I just know I can see some people hating it. Coming out of the theater, I heard some mixed reactions. I heard some people that liked it, and then I heard some people like what I'm suggesting, that some people were very disappointed with the end result. I even heard someone specifically say they loved the first half of the movie, and then the second half of the movie, they did not. But if you're coming for my review, my thoughts on the film, I liked it. I thought it was fine. Nothing to go crazy about. This is no Split. Split, I think, is still the best one. And then Unbreakable, I would say, is a really great film also. But this one it fails in comparison to those two, unfortunately. And look, I don't think this is going to ruin M. Night Shyamalan's career. I think he has risen back up, and I think he just couldn't deliver on what we all wanted. I think the expectations for this movie might have been a little bit higher than it should have been. After all, this is a crossover. For a lot of people was hoping this was M. Night Shyamalan's version of the Avengers. There was a part of me hoping that Haley Joel Osment was going to pop up and say, I see dead people, that's my power. But that did not happen. Since that did not happen, that's not a spoiler, so don't worry. At least now you're not expecting it to happen. But, for what it's worth, if you're a fan of Unbreakable or Split, I would say I would recommend it. Watch it once at least in your life, so that way you know if you like it or not. And if you don't, okay, well, you don't never have to see it again. And you can pretend that Split and Unbreakable are the only two movies that exist. And you can figure out your own ending to how that all resolves. But if you do want to see what M. Night Shyamalan had in mind to end his trilogy on, there you go. Go check it out. So with that being said, if you've seen the movie Glass, comment below and tell me your thoughts on the film. Maybe there's other people out there that like it just as much as I did. Maybe some people liked it more. Maybe a lot of people hated it. There's no right or wrong answers. We all have opinions. And with that being said, until next time, take care.